Hello to the two people watching this. Cheers to you guys. In today's video, I'm going to go over another Leetcode problem. This problem is 572 subtree of another tree. And essentially what's going on here is we're given a tree S and a tree T. We're supposed to return true if tree T exists inside tree S. And the way it exists is if only 4, 1, 2 and the left null and right null and left null and right null are the exact same. So 4, 1, 2 is the exact same as this subtree, right? 4, 1, 2. But if it had like a number all hanging off the side like this one does, it's just going to return false. So kind of reminds me of like a substring problem, determining if a string is a substring of another string, right? So, but how are we going to get to that point to determine if it's a substring? Well, we first have to traverse through the binary tree, and there's a lot of ways to traverse through binary trees, but there's three primary ways. It's post order, in order, and pre-order. And in this video I'm going to go over the pre-order traversal. So if you want to see a quick example of tree, the pre-order traversal, it would be print s.val, then we would recursively call is subtree on that s, and then we would go left, and then we would call self.is subtree, and we would go right. And hopefully before I run this, you already know what's going to happen, which would be an error, right? And why would it cause an error? Well, we don't check for when we hit those null values, right? We just keep going, so we can't print null. It doesn't really work. And we're accessing a value that doesn't exist, s.val, right? It's not doesn't exist, it's null. So if s is null, none, what s is none, we're gonna say print null, return. So let's see it right here. Boom. Oh, we got 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and then we have those nulls I was talking about, right? 2 null null, and then we have 5 null null. So right over here we can already kind of see how we're going to get to the solution. So if we were to do the same thing, right, with the other tree, it would at least have the 4, 1 null null, 2 null null. So then it would be a subtree. So to get to that point where we can do the comparison, we have to store it inside some sort of data structure. So in this one, I will store it in a string, and I'll be doing that by calling, so we'll say calling a helper function, which we're going to create. So we'll just say strtree equals helper, and then we'll say root, and then no, not root, s, and then we'll say yeah, that should be it. And then we'll say strtree 2 equals helper t. So now we have to, oh, that's where I messed up. Oh, well, unless we just want to make the helper out here, we can just say def helper root. And if you wanted to make this helper a method of the class, you just have to do self.helper instead, but I'll just call it outside of it. So then we're going to have if root is none, just like we did before, but with this time we're going to return null. And then to get that string concatenation, we're going to basically do the exact same thing we did earlier, but with a return statement and a string. So it would be str, and then it would be root dot val plus, say space plus, and then we have to call the same way we did with the pre-order traversal above, except in a one-liner, so it'd be root dot, but it would just be root dot left, and then we need to go root dot right. So just so you guys can see, anyways, let's just all looks good. Let's just print it out so we can see what's going on here. And there is going to be, hopefully you can, if you want to pause and see what error you think is going to pop out first before I actually get the error for when we do the comparison. Like in this return thing, I'm doing one part wrong, which will cause an error on an edge case, which I did earlier, but then I figured out why. So let's run it. So look at this. Oh, we should add a space. And now we see 3, 4, 1, 0, 0. You see how it's the exact same? So we're already there. So if str tree 2 in str tree return true, and then we're going to return false. But we're going to get an error, and it's going to be on these conditions, which I'm going to show you about, like how we would stop those conditions. So let's say we had a 15, and then we also had a node of 5, right? In our little solution right here, we're going to store these in strings, right? So it would be 15, and then it would just be 5. So 5 is a substring of 15, but it isn't it isn't a subtree. So we ran it, works, right? But it's not going to work right here. So the easiest way to stop that from happening is if we were to just append like a money sign in front of them. Now money sign 5 is not a substring of money sign 15. So let's just add the money sign. And that's all for this video, folks. Till next time.